Imagine waking up every morning knowing that your financial future is no longer controlled by fear, debt, or uncertainty. Imagine checking your bank account without anxiety, making decisions based on opportunity instead of survival, and knowing that your money is working for you even while you sleep. This is not a fantasy reserved for a lucky few. It is the result of habits, not talent. Not family background, not perfect timing. Habits, financial freedom is not created by a single investment, one brilliant business idea, or a lottery ticket. It is built one decision at a time, one disciplined action at a time, until those actions become automatic. Every wealthy person you admire has developed patterns of thinking and behaving that consistently move them toward abundance. Every person who struggles financially has habits too. The difference is that one set of habits builds wealth while the other quietly destroys it. Your future is hidden inside your daily routine. What you repeatedly do with your time, your attention, and your money will eventually determine the quality of your financial life. If you change your habits, you change your future. The first habit that creates financial freedom is taking complete responsibility for your financial life. The moment you stop blaming the economy, your employer, your parents, inflation, or bad luck is the moment your power returns. Responsibility is liberating because it places the steering wheel back in your hands. You may not have chosen your current financial situation, but you can absolutely choose what happens next. Successful people ask different questions. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? They ask, what can I do to improve this situation? Instead of complaining about rising prices, they look for ways to increase their income. Instead of wishing life were easier, they become stronger, smarter, and more valuable. Financial freedom begins with a decision. A decision that says, from this day forward, I am responsible for every dollar I earn, every dollar I spend, and every dollar I invest. The second habit is developing absolute clarity about your financial goals. Most people have wishes. Very few have goals. There is an enormous difference between saying, I want to be rich, and saying, I will build investments worth $1 million by consistently saving and investing a specific amount every month. Clarity creates focus. Focus creates action. Action produces results. Write down exactly what financial freedom means to you. Is it owning your home outright? Is it generating enough passive income to cover your monthly expenses? Is it retiring early? Is it traveling the world without worrying about money? Whatever your vision may be, define it with precision. Your subconscious mind works like a navigation system. If the destination is unclear, the journey becomes random. But when the destination is crystal clear, your mind begins searching for opportunities, solutions, and ideas that move you toward that goal. The third habit is living below your means, regardless of how much you earn. This principle has created more millionaires than almost any investment strategy. Income alone does not create wealth. The gap between what you earn and what you spend creates wealth. Many people increase their income only to increase their lifestyle. Every raise becomes a bigger house, a newer car, more expensive vacations, and higher monthly payments. They appear wealthy while becoming financially fragile. Truly successful people think differently. When their income increases, they increase their investments before they increase their lifestyle. They understand that every unnecessary expense today steals from their future freedom. The goal is not to impress strangers. The goal is to create choices. Every dollar you choose not to spend today becomes a worker that can earn more money for you tomorrow. The fourth habit is paying yourself first. Before you pay bills, before you buy luxuries, before you spend on entertainment, you pay your future. Treat your savings like the most important bill you have. Make it automatic. Decide that a percentage of every paycheck belongs to your future self. Once this becomes a habit, you stop depending on motivation because the process continues whether you feel inspired or not. Many people say they will save whatever is left at the end of the month. Unfortunately, there is rarely anything left. The financially successful reverse the equation. They save first and learn to live comfortably on the remainder. Small amounts invested consistently over many years often outperform large amounts invested inconsistently. Time becomes your greatest financial partner when you allow it to work for you. Another essential habit is becoming a lifelong learner about money. Schools often teach people how to earn a living, but rarely teach them how to build wealth. That responsibility belongs to you. Read books about investing, entrepreneurship, economics, negotiation, leadership, and personal development. Listen to educational programs while driving. Study successful investors. Learn from business owners. Attend seminars. Ask intelligent questions. Your income usually grows in direct proportion to your knowledge, your skills, and your ability to solve valuable problems. The more valuable you become, the more opportunities naturally appear. Knowledge compounds just like money. Every new idea connects with previous ideas, creating better decisions and greater confidence. Never stop learning because the world never stops changing. Financial freedom also requires the habit of increasing your earning ability. Saving alone has limits. Your ability to earn, however, has almost unlimited potential. Ask yourself regularly, what skill, if mastered, would have the greatest positive impact on my income? It might be communication, sales, leadership, technology, marketing, negotiation, management, or public speaking. Become excellent at something the marketplace values highly. Excellence is rewarded because exceptional people are rare. Mediocrity competes on price. Excellence competes on value. Every hour invested in improving your abilities can continue paying dividends for decades. Your greatest financial asset is not your bank account. It is your capacity to create value. Another powerful habit is creating multiple sources of income. Depending entirely on one paycheck places your financial future in someone else's hands. Think beyond your primary job. Consider investments, rental properties, dividends, royalties, online businesses, consulting, freelancing, or other legitimate income streams that match your abilities and interests. Each additional stream of income strengthens your financial foundation. Over time, these streams begin supporting one another until your dependence on a single source gradually disappears. Financial freedom is not about working endlessly. It is about building systems that continue generating value long after the initial effort has been invested. An equally important habit is learning to distinguish between assets and liabilities. Many people buy things that look impressive but quietly drain their finances month after month. Before making a purchase, ask yourself one simple question. Will this put money into my pocket or take money out of it? The answer often reveals whether the purchase brings you closer to freedom or further away from it. Financially successful people focus on acquiring productive assets that appreciate in value or generate income. They understand that wealth is built by owning things that produce cash flow rather than constantly consuming things that lose value. Patience is another habit that separates financially free people from everyone else. We live in a culture that celebrates instant gratification, but wealth rewards delayed gratification. Every time you resist an unnecessary purchase, you strengthen your financial discipline. Every time you invest instead of spending impulsively, you choose future abundance over temporary pleasure. Patience transforms ordinary income into extraordinary wealth because it allows compounding to perform its remarkable work. The person who plants a tree today enjoys shade years later. The person who invests consistently today enjoys financial freedom years later. Successful people understand that the best financial decisions often feel boring in the beginning. They save consistently. They invest regularly. They avoid emotional decisions. They stay focused on long-term results while others chase short-term excitement. Another essential habit is maintaining a written budget. Many people avoid budgeting because they believe it restricts their freedom. In reality, a budget creates freedom. Money flows where attention goes. When you know exactly where every dollar is being spent, waste becomes obvious. So small leaks that once seemed insignificant suddenly become opportunities to redirect money toward investments and meaningful goals. A budget is simply a plan. Businesses operate with budgets. Successful governments use budgets. Wealthy families use budgets. Planning your money gives every dollar a purpose before it ever reaches your account. Review your finances regularly. Measure your progress. Celebrate improvements. Adjust when necessary. What gets measured gets improved. One of the most overlooked habits is surrounding yourself with financially responsible people. Attitudes toward money are contagious. If your closest circle constantly complains, overspends, avoids responsibility, and discourages ambition, maintaining positive financial habits becomes much harder to stick relationships with people who inspire growth. Spend time with individuals who discuss ideas instead of gossip, opportunities instead of excuses, solutions instead of problems. You do not need wealthy friends. You need growth-minded friends. People who encourage discipline, accountability, learning, and consistent improvement. Another habit is protecting what you build. Creating wealth is important. Preserving wealth is equally important. Maintain emergency savings. Avoid unnecessary debt. Ensure valuable assets appropriately. Diversify investments wisely instead of risking everything on one opportunity. Financial freedom is not created through reckless gambling. It is built through intelligent decision-making repeated consistently over many years. Every major financial decision deserves careful thought. Emotional decisions often become expensive lessons. Gratitude is another surprisingly powerful financial habit. People who constantly focus on scarcity often make fearful decisions. They hesitate to invest. They avoid opportunities. They believe success belongs to someone else. Grateful people think differently. They recognize opportunities because their minds are trained to notice possibilities instead of limitations. Gratitude creates confidence. Confidence encourages action. Action creates results. Being grateful does not mean becoming satisfied with your current circumstances. It means appreciating what you have while remaining committed to creating something even greater. Generosity also plays an important role. The financially successful often develop a mindset of contribution. They understand that wealth ultimately grows through serving others. The more problems you solve, the more value you create. The more value you create, the more income naturally follows. Money is often the reward for improving other people's lives. Instead of constantly asking, how can I make more money? Ask, how can I create more value? That single shift in perspective changes everything. The marketplace rewards those who make life easier, faster, safer, healthier, more enjoyable, or more productive for others. Dependence is another non-negotiable habit. Every financially successful person experiences setbacks. Investments fluctuate, businesses face challenges, markets change, plans fail. The difference is that disciplined people refuse to quit. Failure is feedback. Every setback teaches lessons that improve future decisions. Temporary defeat becomes permanent only when someone decides to stop trying. Financial freedom belongs to those who continue learning, adapting, improving, and moving forward regardless of temporary disappointments. Finally, develop the habit of thinking long-term in every financial decision you make. Ask yourself, how will this decision affect my life 5 years from now? 10 years from now? 20 years from now? Long-term thinking changes everything. It changes how you spend. It changes how you invest. It changes how you work. It changes how you learn. It changes how you build relationships. Every meaningful financial achievement begins with choices that may seem small today, but become life-changing over time. You do not need to become perfect overnight. You simply need to become slightly better every day. Improve one financial habit this week. Strengthen another next week. Continue building momentum month after month until these behaviors become part of your identity. Because in the end, financial freedom is not an event. It is not an inheritance. It is not luck. It is not a destination that suddenly appears one morning. It is the natural outcome of disciplined habits practiced consistently over many years. Every dollar saved, every skill learned, every wise investment made, every unnecessary expense avoided, every goal written down, every book read, every opportunity pursued, every mistake corrected, and every decision guided by patience instead of impulse becomes another brick in the foundation of lasting wealth. Day after day, year after year, those seemingly ordinary choices produce extraordinary results until the life you once dreamed about becomes the life you are living, and the financial security that once felt impossible becomes simply the predictable reward for the habits you chose to practice when everyone else was waiting for success to arrive on its own. There is another truth that many people overlook when pursuing financial freedom. Wealth is created first in the mind before it ever appears in a bank account. Your beliefs about money shape your financial reality far more than most people realize. If you believe that money is scarce, that wealthy people are simply lucky, or that financial success is reserved for someone else, your actions will quietly support those beliefs. But the moment you begin to see money as a tool, an opportunity, and the natural reward for creating value, your entire perspective changes. The way you think determines the way you act, and the way you act determines the results you experience. This is why successful people guard their thoughts carefully. They refuse to entertain beliefs that weaken their confidence or limit their ambition. Instead, they consistently remind themselves that financial success is learnable. If someone else has built wealth ethically and responsibly, then the principles they followed can also be learned and applied. Every morning, begin your day with thoughts that strengthen your confidence. Remind yourself that you are becoming wiser with money. Tell yourself that you make intelligent financial decisions. Visualize yourself living debt-free, investing consistently, and enjoying the freedom that comes from financial independence. Your subconscious mind responds to repetition. Feed it empowering thoughts consistently, and it will begin influencing your daily decisions in positive ways. Another habit that creates financial freedom is mastering the art of decision-making. Every financial result you experience today is the accumulated effect of thousands of decisions made over the years. Some decisions were small, others were significant, yet every one of them mattered. Successful people understand that indecision is often more expensive than making a reasonable decision and adjusting later. Opportunities rarely wait forever. Whether it is accepting a promotion, starting a business, learning a valuable skill, or making a wise investment, timely action separates achievers from dreamers. This does not mean acting impulsively. It means gathering the necessary information, evaluating the risks, making the best possible decision, and moving forward with confidence. If new information appears, adjust your course. Flexibility is a strength, not a weakness. One of the greatest financial habits you can develop is asking better questions before spending money. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" ask, "Is this the best use of my money?" There is an enormous difference. Many people can technically afford expensive purchases because they have access to credit or enough cash at that moment. But affordability does not automatically mean wisdom. Every purchase has an opportunity cost. Every dollar spent on one thing cannot simultaneously be invested somewhere else. Imagine holding $100 in your hand. You could spend it immediately on something that provides temporary enjoyment, or you could invest it so that it continues growing for years to come. That simple choice, repeated hundreds or thousands of times throughout life, creates dramatically different financial outcomes. Financial freedom also requires emotional discipline. Money and emotions are often dangerous partners. Fear causes people to avoid opportunities that could improve their future. Greed causes people to chase unrealistic returns and fall for schemes that promise quick riches. Pride encourages unnecessary spending to impress people who are not paying their bills. Impatience causes investors to abandon good strategies during temporary setbacks. The financially successful learn to recognize these emotions without allowing them to control their decisions. They understand that the market may rise and fall, businesses may experience challenges, and economic conditions may change, but emotional reactions rarely improve financial outcomes. Calm thinking leads to better choices. Better choices lead to greater wealth. Develop the habit of reviewing your financial progress every month. Sit down with complete honesty and evaluate where you stand. Review your income, examine your expenses, measure your savings, assess your investments. Calculate your net worth. Do not judge yourself harshly if the numbers are not where you want them to be. Instead, use the information as feedback. Numbers are not your enemy. They are simply indicators showing whether your current habits are producing the desired results. Businesses constantly measure performance because they know improvement depends upon accurate information. Your personal finances deserve the same level of attention. As your income grows, develop the habit of resisting lifestyle inflation. This is one of the greatest hidden obstacles to financial freedom. Lifestyle inflation occurs when every increase in income is immediately matched by an increase in spending. Someone receives a raise and immediately upgrades their car. A promotion leads to a larger house with larger expenses. A profitable year becomes an excuse for lavish spending instead of greater investing. There is nothing wrong with enjoying success. The problem occurs when your expenses rise just as quickly as your income. Freedom requires margin. Margin is created when your income grows faster than your spending. Imagine receiving every raise with one question in mind: how much of this increase can I invest before changing my lifestyle? That single habit can completely transform your financial future over the next decade. Learn to celebrate progress instead of possessions. Too many people celebrate by buying things they do not need. Instead, celebrate by reaching milestones. Celebrate paying off debt. Celebrate reaching your first investment goal. Celebrate your emergency fund. Celebrate your first source of passive income. These achievements create lasting satisfaction because they increase your freedom rather than your financial obligations. Another important habit is becoming highly productive. Productivity is closely connected to income because valuable work creates valuable rewards. Train yourself to focus on high-impact activities instead of remaining busy with low-value tasks. Ask yourself every morning, what is the most valuable thing I can do today that will improve my future? Then begin with that task before distractions steal your attention. The highest earners are rarely the busiest people. They are often the people who consistently focus on the activities that produce the greatest results. Protect your time with the same care you protect your money. Time is the one resource that cannot be replaced. Money lost can often be earned again. Time invested poorly is gone forever. Spend less time-consuming entertainment that adds little value and more time building knowledge, relationships, and skills that improve your future. Develop the discipline to finish what you begin. Many people start businesses, investment plans, educational programs, and financial goals with great enthusiasm. Few continue long enough to enjoy meaningful results. Consistency always defeats intensity. Small, disciplined actions repeated every day eventually outperform occasional bursts of extraordinary effort. If you invest consistently every month for years, the results become astonishing. If you improve your skills every week, your value multiplies. If you read one quality book each month, your thinking gradually separates itself from the average. Great wealth is usually the product of ordinary actions performed with extraordinary consistency. Financial freedom also requires courage. There will always be uncertainty. Every investment contains some risk. Every business opportunity involves unknown factors. Every career change demands faith. Waiting until every uncertainty disappears often means waiting forever. Courage does not eliminate fear. Courage acts despite fear because the potential reward justifies the temporary discomfort. Think back to the most successful people you know. Chances are they faced moments when success was far from guaranteed. They invested when others hesitated. They learned new skills when others remained comfortable. They accepted calculated risks while others chose certainty. Their willingness to act separated them from the crowd. One habit shared by financially successful people is their ability to delay recognition. They are willing to work quietly for years without needing constant praise or immediate rewards. In today's world, many people want instant success and public recognition before they have built anything substantial. But real wealth is often accumulated quietly. The investor steadily purchasing quality assets every month may not appear wealthy today, but 10 or 20 years later, the results become undeniable. The entrepreneur working long evenings to improve a business may appear ordinary now, yet persistence eventually produces extraordinary outcomes. Do not underestimate the power of invisible progress. Seeds grow beneath the soil long before anyone sees the harvest. Another financial habit is maintaining excellent personal integrity. Trust is one of the most valuable economic assets you can possess. Honest people attract opportunities because others feel confident doing business with them. Pay your commitments on time. Keep your promises. Treat people fairly. Deliver more value than expected. Your reputation compounds just as investments do. A strong reputation opens doors that money alone cannot buy. Likewise, poor decisions made without integrity often produce consequences that extend far beyond immediate financial losses. Become someone whose word carries weight. Learn to negotiate effectively. Nearly every aspect of financial life involves negotiation. Salaries, business agreements, investments, purchases, partnerships, and contracts all improve when you develop this skill. Negotiation is not about defeating the other person. It is about creating mutually beneficial outcomes. The more confidently and respectfully you communicate, the greater your ability to increase your income and reduce unnecessary costs throughout your lifetime. Developing communication skills may be one of the highest return investments you ever make. Financially free people also understand the importance of health. At first glance, health and wealth may appear unrelated, but they are deeply connected. Your energy affects your productivity. Your productivity affects your income. Your health influences your medical expenses, your focus, your confidence, and your ability to continue creating value. Exercise regularly. Sleep adequately. Eat wisely. Protect your physical and mental well-being. A healthy body allows you to pursue opportunities with greater enthusiasm and endurance. Another essential habit is avoiding comparison. Comparison silently destroys financial progress because it encourages spending based on appearances rather than priorities. You never truly know another person's financial reality. The expensive car may be financed with overwhelming debt. The luxurious vacation may have been purchased with borrowed money. The impressive lifestyle you admire may be creating tremendous stress behind closed doors. Measure yourself against your own goals instead. Ask, am I making better financial decisions than I made last year? Am I learning? Am I growing? Am I becoming more disciplined? That is the comparison that matters. Develop patience with the process. Many people abandon excellent financial habits because results seem slow during the early years. The first $1,000 saved may require tremendous discipline. The second 1,000 becomes easier. The first investment account grows slowly. Eventually, compound growth begins accelerating. Momentum is one of the greatest forces in financial success. Once positive habits become established, progress often begins arriving faster than expected. Think of pushing a large wheel. At first, every movement requires significant effort. the wheel barely moves. But eventually, momentum builds. Soon, the same effort produces much greater movement. Financial habits work exactly the same way. There is also tremendous value in regularly simplifying your financial life. Complexity often creates confusion, and confusion leads to procrastination. Organize your accounts, automate your savings, eliminate unnecessary subscriptions, reduce unnecessary debt. Simplify your investment strategy if needed. The less mental energy required to manage your finances, the more consistently you will maintain good habits over the long term. Always remain teachable. Success should increase your confidence, but never eliminate your humility. Markets evolve. Technology changes. New opportunities emerge. Lifelong learners remain adaptable because they understand that yesterday's knowledge may not solve tomorrow's challenges. Never assume you know everything. Continue reading, continue asking questions. Continue improving, continue listening to people who have already achieved the results you desire. Financial freedom rewards those who remain curious. One final habit deserves special attention because it quietly influences every other habit. Maintaining unwavering optimism grounded in action. Optimism alone is not enough. Wishful thinking without disciplined effort changes nothing. But optimism combined with daily action becomes extraordinarily powerful. Believe that your financial future can improve. Believe that your efforts matter. Believe that your skills can grow. Believe that every wise decision strengthens your future. Then prove those beliefs through consistent action every single day. Some days, your progress will appear small. Some months, unexpected expenses will test your discipline. Some years may challenge your patience, yet every setback overcome makes you stronger, wiser, and more prepared for future opportunities. Remember that financial freedom is never achieved accidentally. It is constructed intentionally through hundreds of habits that reinforce one another. Responsible thinking leads to wise decisions. Wise decisions create positive actions. Positive actions become consistent habits. Consistent habits shape character. Character determines destiny. When you understand this sequence, you stop searching for shortcuts and begin embracing the daily disciplines that quietly transform ordinary lives into extraordinary examples of lasting financial success. You begin to realize that every morning offers another opportunity to strengthen your financial foundation. Every paycheck presents another chance to invest in your future. Every book teaches another lesson that sharpens your judgment. Every challenge develops another layer of resilience. And every disciplined choice moves you one step closer to the freedom, security, confidence, and peace of mind that come from mastering the habits that create true and lasting wealth.